What's up, fight fans? In today's video, Ilia Topuria will finally be making an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience. Wow. And you can bet Conor McGregor isn't thrilled, especially since he personally asked for a spot on the podcast and never got it. Now his rival Ilia Topuria gets the invite instead. That's gotta sting. Meanwhile, Khabib has finally broken his silence on all the buzz about Topuria potentially moving up to lightweight to challenge Islam Makhachev. Ilia Topuria responds to Khabib, and speaking of Topuria, the long-awaited fight between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria might actually become real. That's the one fans have been asking for. Some even say they'd rather see that fight than Topuria versus Makhachev. But Islam Makhachev's coach Javier Mendez believes Paddy Pimblett should get the next title shot. And finally, some truly heartbreaking news out of the MMA community. UFC middleweight Marvin Vettori's younger brother Patrick has sadly passed away at just 30 years old after a fire broke out in his apartment. There's a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. How many times have we doubted the Scouser in a fight? But every time he's proven the doubters wrong. Now he's on a 7-fight win streak. Right now, only Islam Makhachev has a longer active streak in the lightweight division. Yeah, sure. There's that super close win over Jared Gordon, the shaky fight with Tony Ferguson, and the fact that most of his recent opponents were way past their prime. That's all true. But you've got to give Paddy some credit. They said he wouldn't win. He won. They said he'd never make the top 15. He made it. They said he couldn't hang with the top 10. And now he's sitting at number 8 after dominating Michael Chandler. Against Chandler, he proved he's leveled up. And if he wins one more big one, he could be right in line for a title shot. And you know what that means. Paddy versus Ilia Topuria might finally become real. That's the fight fans really want. Some would even rather see it than Topuria versus Makhachev. There's real heat between them, real history, and now it might actually happen. In a recent interview, Topuria himself stated that he is interested in this fight. As for Ilia Topuria, big news just dropped. It looks like Ilia Topuria will finally be making an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience in an upcoming episode. To be more precise, Topuria is actually visiting Rogan right now, and hopefully we'll get to see the full interview drop tomorrow. Topuria's officially reached that next level, the kind of level where Joe Rogan himself invites you onto the show. And we all know, Rogan doesn't just bring anyone on. His guest list is stacked with the biggest names in the world. So for Ilia, this is a massive moment. He's not just getting a chance to promote himself, he's getting the opportunity to show the real Ilia Topuria to one of the biggest audiences on the planet. Honestly, it's a huge honor. Because even legends like Conor McGregor, along with countless other elite fighters, have never stepped foot on the Joe Rogan Experience. And yeah, people are still asking, where's the Conor McGregor episode? Conor would likely be furious that Rogan never invited him, especially since he personally asked for the spot, only to have his rival Ilia Topuria get the call instead. He's clearly wanted that spot for a while, and now that Ilia Topuria, one of Conor's rivals, is getting the invite instead, that probably stings. Some fans think the real reason Conor hasn't been on yet might have to do with Rogan's past criticisms and a bit of tension between the two over the years. Either way, the fact that Topuria is getting the call shows just how far he's come and how serious the UFC and Rogan see him now. And a lot of people believe the UFC is promoting the Georgian this way to get him ready for a massive fight. For example, one fan wrote on X, Ilia Topuria has been hopping from one major podcast to another, including Joe Rogan recently. I really think he's trying to get under Islam Makhachev's skin. I just know Joe is gonna hype him up like crazy and push for that Islam fight like his life depends on it. They're trying to create and manufacture the next Conor McGregor. Joe has a gift of being able to bring out the genuine side of somebody. I'm curious to see who the real Topuria is, and if fans who don't like him change their opinion after this. But what do you think? Is the UFC pushing Topuria this hard to build him into their next global superstar? Sound off in the comments. According to Colby Covington, the UFC already has plans in motion to make the Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria super fight happen.
The end of June.
End of June.
So like 2 months from now.
Okay.
So,
Who's main?
They haven't announced it, but I think it's going to be Makhachev and Topuria.
Oh, that's going to be a crazy one.
It's going to be a sick fight.
That's going to be.
They're talking about maybe putting the co-main as, who's the co-main? I think the 85 title fight between DDP, Dricus Duplessis versus Khamzat Chimaev.
That's a crazy card, bro.
Khabib recently weighed in on all the talk about Ilia Topuria possibly moving up to lightweight and facing Islam Makhachev. He broke down exactly why Islam's not jumping at the idea of fighting Topuria anytime soon, even with all the hype around Ilia. Khabib didn't sugarcoat it. He respects Topuria, but made it clear, Islam versus Arman would be a harder fight.
Кто опаснее сейчас для Ислама Махачева, Арман Царукян или Илья Топурия?
Мое личное мнение, не то чтобы там опасен, скажем так, более конкурентен. Я думаю, что Царукян. Я думаю, Арман посерьезнее боец, чем Топурия. Топурия хороший боец в 66, а в 70 мы его не видели. Я считаю, что Арман более конкурентоспособный для Ислама, чем Топурия.
А вот то, что он перешел вес выше, я про Топурию, оставив пояс и сразу заявляет намерение подраться Исламу. Вот ты как это воспринимаешь? Многие его осуждают, что он так сразу хочет Ислама.
Не, смотрите, ребята, я не знаю просто, какие договоренности были у Топурии с UFC. Просто если смотреть со стороны Ислама, Ислам уже 2 раза давал шанс чемпиону в 66. Оба раза Ислам выиграл. Сейчас 3-й раз ему давать. Хорошо, представим, Топурия переходит, перешел и дерется сразу за пояс. Ислам его выиграл. Потом Топурия дерется еще один бой. Он еще раз проигрывает. То есть он вообще никем не был в 155, и Ислам выиграл человека, который никем не был в 155, в 70 килограмм. Из-за этого, как для наследия, для Ислама, для его резюме, я Ислама риски тоже понимаю. И из-за этого Ислам говорит, пусть подерется, пусть станет реальным претендентом, и Ислам будет драться с любым. Ислам же сказал, я буду драться с любым бойцом. И он даже дрался с чемпионом 66, летел к нему. Ислам в Австралию полетел, у него там на заднем дворе подрался, у него дома подрался. Из-за этого мы, как команда, мы считаем, что Топурия, он достойный боец. Он чемпион, защитил пояс, выиграл очень серьезных ребят. Но эти все ребята, которые были в 66, даже тот же самый Холлоуэй, которого он выиграл, он перешел на 70, он ничего не сделал.
Ilia Topuria responds to Khabib saying, Khabib knows I'm the one to take the belt from Islam. Only reason he doesn't want Islam to fight me. It's obvious Khabib is seriously pissed at the Georgian, probably because, as you know, Topuria recently said he's going to submit Makhachev right in front of Khabib.
I take him close to Khabib. I will submit him closer to Khabib.
You'll submit him in front of Khabib?
Yeah. I take him. Khabib used to take people and he shoulder take them down and talk to Dana. I would do it to Khabib. Like, I will take him, bah.
And then talk to Khabib.
Talk to Khabib. Khabib.
Islam Makhachev или Topuria, Ilia?
Topuria or Islam Makhachev. Enfoque las áreas para ver.
Islam
Topuria.
Heartbreaking news out of the MMA world. UFC middleweight Marvin Vettori's younger brother Patrick has sadly passed away at just 30 years old after a fire broke out in his apartment. Marvin posted a deeply emotional tribute on Instagram, writing, "You were and always will be my number one. You left a hole in my heart that nothing can ever fill. I'll love you until my last breath. I don't think I'll ever be the same after this. You were always my strength, even if I never told you." He went on to say, "You were the smarter one, building something amazing for your life, and now you're gone. They say God calls home the best souls too soon. I hope you're up there now, watching over us with the same kindness that made you so special. I love you, brother. Life won't be the same without you, but I'll rest easy knowing I'll see you again someday. My deepest condolences to Marvin and the entire Vettori family. Losing someone so young and full of promise is unimaginable. Guys, please join us in sharing your condolences and support for the Vettori family. Rest in peace, Patrick." After UFC 314, Aljamain Sterling is weighing his options and looking at potential opponents.
My 3 top opponents that I would like to fight on my way to trying to eventually fight for a world title. So I would like to see Volkanovski versus Mosar. I think that matchup makes sense. I would love the opportunity for me to fight Diego Lopez next. And then I think maybe Pitbull, maybe he welcomes Aaron Pico to the UFC. And I think it's an opportunity for both these guys to show if they belong. Or, I mean, you can mix them up with somebody else. There's Lerone Murphy there, another undefeated prospect at the weight class. Yair is coming off a win over Pitbull. I can see Yair versus Lerone Murphy or Yair versus Diego Lopez. But then you have Brian Ortega, who's probably not looking to return maybe anytime soon, hopefully by the summer, just to keep the division moving. So those are matchups that interest me. I would either like to fight Diego Lopez or Brian Ortega. I think those are the most logical fights, or Arnold Allen.
That's all for today. If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it.